Hi everyone, and welcome back to Mirror Mind, the place where we dive deep into the world of psychology, self-awareness, and emotional healing. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found us. And if you've been walking this journey with us for a while, welcome home. Today's video is one that many of you have been asking for, and it's long overdue. We're going to talk about healing after narcissistic abuse, and specifically what therapy really looks like for survivors. What should you expect? What are the steps? How do you rebuild yourself when it feels like you've been completely shattered? This isn't just about recovering. It's about rediscovering who you are, reclaiming your life, and learning to live again. This time, without the shadows of manipulation, gaslighting, or emotional control. So if this topic resonates with you, take a deep breath, grab a warm drink, and let's walk through this together. Before we begin, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Your support means the world to us at Mirror Mind, and it helps more survivors find this safe space. Now let's begin. Chapter 1, Understanding Narcissistic Abuse, the Invisible Wound. To begin any healing journey, we have to understand what we're healing from. Narcissistic abuse is not always loud. It's not always obvious. It doesn't always come with bruises or screaming matches. Sometimes it's slow and quiet, a drip, drip, drip of emotional erosion that leaves you doubting your own reality. It can happen in romantic relationships, with parents, siblings, bosses, even friends. Narcissistic abuse is the result of being in a prolonged relationship with someone who is deeply self-centered, lacks empathy, and often uses manipulation, gaslighting, and control to maintain power over you. So what does it look like? You constantly second-guess yourself. You feel guilty for having needs. You walk on eggshells, afraid of triggering them. You feel like you're losing yourself. You're blamed for things you didn't do. You feel confused. Was it abuse, or are you just too sensitive? This confusion is no accident, it's by design. Narcissists thrive on control. They twist your perception, wear down your boundaries, and replace your truth with theirs. Over time, your identity gets chipped away. You begin to forget who you were before them. And that's why healing from this kind of abuse is so complex. It's not just about moving on, it's about rebuilding what was taken. Chapter 2, Why Therapy Matters and What It's Not. Some survivors hesitate to seek therapy. And it's understandable. You may think, maybe I should be over this by now. It wasn't physical abuse, so maybe it's not that serious. I'm scared to talk about it. What if they don't believe me? What if the therapist invalidates me the same way my abuser did? These are valid fears, especially if you've been gaslit for years. But therapy, when done with a trauma-informed, narcissistic abuse-aware therapist, can be the safest place you'll ever know. Let's be clear, therapy is not about fixing you. You are not broken. Therapy is about helping you understand the impact of what happened, recognize the patterns, grieve the losses, set boundaries, and learn how to trust yourself again. It's not a quick fix. It's a process, one with twists and turns, setbacks, and breakthroughs. But every step forward is a step away from the fog. Chapter 3, What to Expect in Therapy. So what actually happens when you start therapy for narcissistic abuse? Let's walk through the stages. 1. Stabilization and safety. The first priority is helping you feel safe. You may be emotionally dysregulated, anxious, numb, depressed, hypervigilant. You may still be in contact with your abuser. You may feel overwhelmed by daily life. In this phase, your therapist will work with you to help regulate your emotions, identify triggers, teach grounding techniques, validate your experience, build trust and rapport. This phase is all about building a foundation. No deep digging yet, just helping you feel safe enough to exist without falling apart. 2. Storytelling and truth-telling. Once there's safety, you begin to tell your story. This can be hard, sometimes terrifying. For many survivors, this is the first time they're naming what happened as abuse. You may cry, dissociate, minimize, or even laugh nervously. All of that is okay. Your therapist should go at your pace. This stage is about reclaiming your reality. Because narcissistic abuse often involves intense gaslighting, one of the most healing things you can do is to speak your truth and have it believed. You'll begin to see patterns, cycles of idealization, devaluation, discard. You'll remember things that didn't feel right but didn't make sense before. And slowly, your memory becomes yours again. 3. Grieving the loss. This is often the hardest part. Even if the person was abusive, you may still love them. You may have had hopes, dreams, a life you built together, or an idea of who they were that was never real. You're grieving not only what you lost, but what you never had: safety, love, validation, mutual respect. Grieving can look like Crying for the good moments you now realize were manipulation. Feeling anger, then guilt for being angry. Missing them even though they hurt you. Mourning the years you lost. This pain is real, and therapy can help you sit with it instead of running from it. Chapter 4: The Role of the Therapist. Not all therapists are created equal, especially when it comes to narcissistic abuse. Some may not understand the dynamics. Some may try to get you to see both sides. Some may even gaslight you further. This is why finding the right therapist is crucial. Look for someone who specializes in trauma or narcissistic abuse, understands gaslighting and emotional manipulation, believes survivors, doesn't pressure you to forgive and forget, supports your healing, not reconciliation with the abuser. Your therapist should empower, not pathologize you. The therapeutic space should feel safe, non-judgmental, and validating. You are not the problem, the abuse was. Chapter 5: Common Roadblocks in Therapy. Let's normalize a few things you might experience in therapy. You might minimize what happened. That's a defense mechanism. It helped you survive. You may feel numb. That's trauma. Your body shut down to protect you. You might idealize the abuser. That's trauma bonding. It doesn't mean you're weak. You could feel worse before you feel better. That's healing. You're finally facing the truth. If you hit these walls, don't quit. Tell your therapist. Let them help you process what's coming up. Healing isn't linear. Some days will feel like breakthroughs. Others will feel like breakdowns. That's normal. You're not going backward, you're unwinding years of conditioning. Chapter 6: Goals of Therapy. Ultimately, therapy aims to help you reclaim your voice and identity, understand the trauma bond, recognize red flags and set boundaries, trust your intuition again, grieve without shame, reconnect with your body, cultivate self-compassion, rebuild your self-worth, and most importantly, to help you know in your bones that what happened to you was real, it was wrong, and it was not your fault. Chapter 7: Trauma Bonds. Why you couldn't just walk away. One of the most misunderstood parts of narcissistic abuse is the question, why didn't you just leave? Let me say this loud and clear. You didn't stay because you were weak. You stayed because of a trauma bond. A trauma bond is a powerful emotional attachment to an abuser. It's created through cycles of intermittent reinforcement, meaning abuse followed by affection, criticism followed by compliments, cruelty followed by connection. This cycle does a few things. Confuses your nervous system. You don't know whether to run or stay. Creates dependency. You begin relying on the abuser for comfort from the pain they caused. Damages your self-worth. You start believing you deserve their treatment. Reinforces hope. You remember the good times and wait for them to return. And when you try to leave, your body can react as if you're in danger, panic attacks, guilt, shame, obsessive thinking. This is not love, it's chemical addiction. You were trauma bonded, not connected. Therapy helps you see the cycle clearly and interrupt it. It teaches you how to detox from the highs and lows and learn what real safety and love actually feel like. Chapter 8: Who am I without them? Rebuilding your identity. After abuse, survivors often say, I don't know who I am anymore. I feel empty. I used to be confident, funny, outgoing. Now I feel invisible. That's not by accident. Narcissistic abuse is designed to strip you of your identity so you become easier to control. They may have mocked your interests, isolated you from friends, dismissed your emotions, made you feel too sensitive, erased your hobbies and opinions. Over time, you adapted. You shrank yourself. You silenced your truth. You stopped recognizing your own reflection. But here's the good news: identity isn't lost, it's buried. And it can be reclaimed. Rebuilding your identity, step by step. Name the false beliefs. Start by writing down the messages you internalized. I'm not enough. I'm difficult. My feelings are too much. I don't matter. These are not your truths, they were given to you. Therapy helps you challenge and replace them. Reconnect with your body. Abuse often disconnects you from your body. You might ignore your hunger, exhaustion, or intuition. Try gentle movement like yoga or stretching. Breath work. Grounding exercises, touching textures, naming what you see/hear/feel. Body scans to check in. Explore your joys. What made you light up before them? Music, writing, cooking, art. You don't need to have it all figured out. Start small. A song, a walk, a memory. Reconnecting with joy reconnects you to yourself. Practice safe self-expression. This could mean journaling your thoughts, speaking your truth in therapy, saying no and sitting with the discomfort, wearing clothes that feel like you. The more you express who you are, the more you remember who you've always been. Chapter 9, Emotional Flashbacks, the Ghosts of Past Pain. Have you ever had a strong reaction to something small, like someone ignoring your text or raising their voice? That might be an emotional flashback, when a present moment triggers the emotional memory of a past trauma. In narcissistic abuse, this is common. For example, your friend doesn't call back, you spiral into feeling abandoned. Your partner critiques you kindly, you feel like a failure and shut down. Someone gets angry, you freeze and panic. You're not crazy. You're reliving emotional states that your body stored during trauma. These flashbacks aren't visual like in PTSD. They're emotional storms. Fear, shame, panic without context. Therapy helps you recognize flashbacks as trauma, not truth. Name the feeling. This is shame from the past, not now. Soothe your body. Breathing, grounding, calming self-talk. Build tolerance for triggers without spiraling. Over time, the flashbacks lose power. You respond from the present, not react from the past. Chapter 10. The Importance of Boundaries and How to Set Them. One of the greatest tools therapy gives survivors is the ability to set and honor boundaries. In narcissistic abuse, boundaries were ignored, punished, mocked, seen as betrayal. You may have learned that saying no leads to rage, guilt-tripping, or silent treatment. So now, setting boundaries might feel wrong or mean. But boundaries are not about controlling others, they're about protecting yourself. Steps to healthy boundaries. Know your limits. Ask yourself, what drains me? What energizes me? What do I need to feel safe? Start small. You don't need to drop a bombshell. Start with, I can't talk right now. I'm not comfortable with that. Let me think about it and get back to you. Expect pushback. People used to your compliance may resist. That's okay. Their discomfort does not mean you're wrong. Hold the line. Boundaries only work if you enforce them. Therapy helps you tolerate the guilt, shame, and fear that comes up, and remind yourself why the boundary matters. Chapter 11, The Myth of Forgiveness. Let's be honest. Survivors are often pressured to forgive in order to move on. But here's the truth. You do not have to forgive your abuser to heal. Forgiveness is a personal choice, not a moral obligation. And for many survivors, especially of narcissistic abuse, it can feel like betrayal, like saying, it wasn't that bad. Instead of rushing to forgive, focus on acceptance. It happened. It was real. It was wrong. Release, letting go of the need for justice, apology, or understanding. Boundaries, you can heal without reconnecting. If forgiveness comes naturally later, great. If not, that's okay too. Healing is about liberating yourself, not excusing the harm. Chapter 12, Self-Care That Actually Heals. Not all self-care is bubble baths and candles. Real healing self-care often looks like saying no even when it makes people uncomfortable, going to therapy even when it's hard, eating regularly when you have no appetite, turning off your phone to protect your peace, letting yourself rest without guilt. It's also about inner self-parenting. Talk to yourself the way a safe, loving parent would. It's okay to feel this. You're doing your best. You don't have to earn love. I'm here for you. This kind of self-care rebuilds trust with yourself. The trust that was broken by manipulation and neglect. Chapter 13, Rebuilding Relationships After Abuse. After narcissistic abuse, you may not trust anyone, including yourself. That's normal. Trust was used as a weapon against you. Now you're afraid to. Be vulnerable. Speak your needs. Get close to others. Therapy helps you relearn safe connection. You begin to identify red flags earlier. Set boundaries without shame. Express needs clearly. Believe that you're worthy of healthy love. You may lose people along the way, that's part of growth. But you'll also begin attracting those who respect your boundaries, honor your truth, and see you clearly. Chapter 14. What does healing actually look like? A lot of people assume healing from narcissistic abuse means you'll eventually wake up one day and never feel anxious, sad, angry, or triggered again. But let's be honest. Healing isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Healing looks like recognizing red flags sooner than you used to, trusting your gut more than you did before, feeling less guilt when you say no, reacting with awareness instead of panic, letting yourself feel emotions, even hard ones, without judgment. Knowing that your past shaped you, but it doesn't define you. Some days you'll feel strong, confident, unstoppable. Other days, the grief might creep in again. That's not failure, that's just being human. Healing isn't a straight line. It's a winding path, with setbacks, leaps forward, pauses, and revelations. Therapy teaches you to ride the waves rather than drown in them. Chapter 15, Post-Traumatic Growth. Yes, it's real. We've all heard of post-traumatic stress, but have you heard of post-traumatic growth? It's a phenomenon where people come out of trauma with a stronger sense of self, deeper compassion and empathy, a clearer understanding of boundaries, more meaningful relationships, a new life purpose. Now let's be clear, no one is grateful for the abuse. But some survivors do find meaning in how they grow from it. They say things like, "I'm more protective of my peace now. I don't ignore red flags anymore. I finally know what I need in relationships. I have more empathy for others who suffer." This kind of growth doesn't happen overnight. It's earned through hard emotional work, often with the help of a trauma-informed therapist. But it's real. And it's powerful. Chapter 16, Building a Safe and Meaningful Life. Once you begin healing, the question becomes, now what? Now you start building a life that reflects your truth. Here's how that can look. 1. Create safe daily rhythms. Structure helps regulate your nervous system. Try regular sleep and meal times, morning or evening rituals, time for rest and joy, a calming space that feels like home. Your body craves predictability after years of chaos. 2. Choose who gets access to you. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. You are allowed to. Be selective with your energy. Keep your circle small. Say, "I don't feel safe sharing this with you." Healing is about quality, not quantity, especially in relationships. 3. Reconnect with dreams and goals. Narcissistic abuse often derails your sense of possibility. Now ask, what did I always want to do? What matters to me? What do I want my life to stand for? Start small, but dream big. Whether it's a new job, learning a skill, traveling, or creating art, this is your life now. You get to decide. Chapter 17, Tools that Support Long-Term Healing. Let's talk about practical tools that can help you stay anchored, especially during moments of doubt, grief, or flashbacks. 1. Daily affirmations. Use affirmations that speak directly to your healing. Examples. I am allowed to take up space. My boundaries are valid. I don't have to earn love, I am already worthy. I trust myself more every day. Write them, say them, put them on sticky notes. Let your inner child hear them often. 2. Journaling. Journaling helps track your progress and release suppressed emotions. Try prompts like, what am I feeling right now? What did I need that I didn't get today? What boundary did I hold? How did that feel? What do I want to remember about this part of my healing? 3. Nervous system regulation. So much of narcissistic abuse happens in the body through fear, adrenaline shutdowns. To calm your system, practice deep breathing. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 8. Try vagus nerve exercises. Use weighted blankets or grounding stones. Take nature walks. The goal is to teach your body that you are safe now. 4. Connect with safe people. Healing doesn't have to happen alone. Support groups, therapy communities, or close friends who understand can be life-changing. Being seen, heard, and validated by others breaks the isolation that abuse creates. Chapter 18, When Triggers Come Back, and they will. Even years into healing, triggers can sneak up. A smell, a phrase, a look, suddenly you're back in that emotional space. This doesn't mean you failed. It means your nervous system is still healing. Here's how to handle it. Pause and name it. This is a trigger. I'm not in danger. Breathe and ground. Look around. Name 5 things you see, 4 you hear, 3 you feel. Soothe your inner child. I've got you. We're safe now. Journal or talk it out with a safe person. Over time, triggers lose their intensity, and you gain strength in your ability to move through them. Chapter 19. Choosing therapy that grows with you. As you evolve, your therapy may evolve too. Early therapy might focus on survival, crisis response, validation, untangling memories. Later therapy may move toward rebuilding confidence, exploring deeper trauma, working through intimacy fears, finding life purpose. You may even switch therapists over time. That's okay. What matters is that your healing stays centered on you, your growth, your needs, your truth. Chapter 20, You Are Not Alone. Final words. If you take nothing else from this series, please remember this. You are not crazy. You are not broken. You are not weak. You were hurt. Deeply. repeatedly, systematically, and you survived. That alone makes you strong. But healing is about more than surviving, it's about thriving. Trusting yourself again. Feeling joy without guilt. Loving without fear. Standing in your truth without apology. You are worthy of all of it. No matter how long you stayed, how much you doubted, how often you broke down, you are still worthy of healing. If this message has helped you, please take a moment to thumbs up like this video. Speech balloon, leave a comment, tell us your story. You are not alone. Bell, subscribe to Mirror Mind for more compassionate, clear guidance on healing, growth, and recovery. We are building a community here, one of truth, empathy, and strength. You are part of it. Thank you for trusting me and Mirror Mind to walk with you on this path. Wherever you are in your journey, know this. You are not the same person who entered that abusive relationship. You are wiser, stronger, clearer, and your story is still being written by you. Until next time, take care of yourself. Be kind to your healing heart. And never forget, you are enough.